come and make my birthday cake with me. It was my first time making a vintage heart cake and I was so happy with the outcome. This was a chocolate cake with a delicious chocolate fudge icing filling. These are the cake pans I used, and by the way, all products used in this video are listed in my bio. Best pans ever, the cakes popped right out. But yeah, it was a 3-layer cake, and then I did a crumb coat using some red vanilla buttercream. I did also cut a small triangle at the top of the cake to define the heart shape more. I smoothed out the icing using a scraper, and once the crumb coat was chilled, I covered the rest of the cake with the buttercream. Now for the piping, which is my favorite part because it is so satisfying. For the top and bottom border, I used the Woolton 6B piping tip. I then used a Woolton 18 piping tip, and also to get my icing insanely white, I always use an icing whitener, which is also linked in my bio. To do this ruffle effect, I used the Woolton 104 piping tip, which was so much harder than I thought it would be, but I guess I pulled it off. And finally used the Woolton 3 piping tip to write on my cake. I was trying to be unique and different, so I decided to write 949 days on Earth. You guys already know the maths, officially to old for Leo DiCaprio. I then covered some cherries in some edible red glitter, added some pearls and also some red glitter butterfly toppers, which was my favorite part, and the cake was complete. And of course, would I even be me if I didn't match my cake? And this is what the cake looked like on the inside. Not bad for a first attempt. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial.